And hello everybody, it is I, the Roguescaper, coming back after a long, jam-packed weekend to do some painting with you all. I hope you're all doing well, enjoying hopefully the weather's starting to feel fallish for you in your area. Get some of that autumnal cool coming your way and have, let me hear myself twice here, there you go. And have some of that nice cool weather coming your way. I live in Kansas, so it's always a little all over the place. Sometimes, yes, 3 days ago it was 90 degrees, today it's 50. But I hope everyone's doing well. We are going to be painting Bok-Bur-Na today. This pirate captain, he definitely relates directly to this new scenario Renegade just dropped, so we'll probably be talking about that while we're painting. And yeah, without further ado, I think we'll just dive in, trying to get as much done as we can in an hour. I often get, asked a lot about how to paint Morrow, as they are deceptively, tricky to get just right. I have a couple classic Morrow figures here, and if you look at them, their skin tones are all over the place. You have some that are really dirty beige, you have some that are more yellow, some that are almost pale coat white. So they're one of the favorite units, but they're definitely, a unit that has some variance. And that's a good thing. That means, you can really paint your figure whatever way you want, and it's pretty much right. Because if everything's not right, then anything can be right. So we're gonna get some color on this, just checking chat, making sure we're all up to date here. And made some changes to the setup. Last time I noticed, I actually set my camera up upside down, which tells you what kind of day I was having that day. Alright, so first off, this is actually a formula given to me by another Roguescape painter called Blast Shark. They made a really informative video on how to paint Morrow, so I'm full credit to them for giving this to me. But we are using a bit of brain matter beige onto our palette here, as well as some skeleton bone. Yeah, I am kind of the catchphrase king, right? That's my... And we're going to add a bit of demonic yellow from Army Painter. Essentially, you're trying to kind of create this off yellow kind of bone color. I shook that up really well. Always shake your paints. If you're not shaking your paints, and have a paper clip on hand if you're using like bottle droppers, as you don't want to squeeze too hard and have them get all over the place. Oh, like that. Even with a paper clip, sometimes you get a bit of spillage. That was what I get for being impatient. You want to grab a old brush, and I am pretty okay. I got kind of sick the last couple days after Renegade. I think it was just busyness and tiredness, or maybe allergies. But I'm doing good now. And that paint, it could have been a lot worse, and we are going to pull these apart together to kind of get a base tone that we like. Now, it's up to you. Really, I'm not using ratios to determine this. It's kind of where you want to do this. You want to have a more light base tone or a dark. I always recommend going lighter. I recommend always going darker than building way up to lighter, as that you can get some natural layer going. We're just kind of mixing all this in with this old junky brush I have on hand. If I was to kind of give a ratio, probably 2 parts skeleton bone, 1 part yellow, and 1 part beige, but that's very loose. Use a needle. Yeah, I didn't happen to have one in hand. That's just embarrassing. You saw that on live stream, but that's how it happens. When you're live, sometimes things just go a little awry. And let's see, so that's like a little bit too yellow, so let's get a little bit more beige. I have yet to find a good pre-mixed color for these. It's the closest I found is honestly Pro Acrylic Khaki. It's nice kind of yellow brown, but even then, that's a little bit off. It's not 100% perfect. It's just best to kind of combine a tan, beige, and a yellow to where you want to get it to where you're satisfied with it. And if you noticed, I did do kind of a bit of a slap chop, just kind of on this. Really, that's not necessary. It's more for the camera so it can knows where to focus. But it really is a great tool when you're starting off, just so you know where shadows are. Now, I'm kind of like a Gen 1er. I'm a classic Roguescaper, so I'm going to try to make this look kind of like the Mario of old, while still kind of updating the look and keeping it consistent with Bok-Bur-Na's official art model. I love this guy. I love that he wears pants. I also like how the scenario mentions the pants. I think it's kind of funny. And let me go back down to more of my base coat brush here. It's amazing how simple painted Mario Mini actually is. Yeah, once you figure it out, it's really not hard. It's the reason the old Classicscape, used so much Mario is I imagine it really, really just was nice to produce some really cool models. Very iconic escape. I'm happy we had one in the master set for sure. And is that PVC with sticky tack? Yep, it is. It's Gorilla sticky tack right here. Nice and simple. You can buy fancier holders. I actually might, down the line, invest in one now that I'm painting things with bases on them more consistently. But, I mean, for a couple bucks, you cannot go wrong with this. More Mario Pirates. And I am the meh. Yeah. I appreciate that, Justin. Thank you. Definitely recommend everyone check out that scenario. Good friend Dandelions had a hand in devising that, and I'm really happy with it. It's a really fun treasure hunt. So if you're looking to kind of have a new way to play, it's a really fun map and a really fun story. Those things are shaping up. I don't really know all the details yet of what's happening with these pirates and what's happening with Revna, but things are definitely... I think we're going to be shocked. So I think there's going to be a big reveal at one point. We're all going to be like, what? What's going on here? But, I love a good pirate, a good treasure hunt. And they're going to do that, but Renegade Studios, get some Roguescape mini paints in. Yeah, mini holders. Pretty much if you put Roguescape on anything, I'll buy it. That's, that's the honest truth right there. And let me know if my sound and music and all that stuff is sounding good on your end, Chad. If there's anything off, let me know. As I try to make sure this is all level beforehand, but, I only have so many hands and so many ears. But I hope everyone really enjoyed that Renegade Con. There was so much. I'm still going through it. I'm working on my my routine. Here's everything in that drop video, but it's taking a bit longer to edit just because there's so much stuff. It's kind of crazy. It's all my favorite models released in the Rising Tide, so I'm really I'm really excited for all those. Which of the upcoming figures am I most excited to paint? Ooh. I gotta think about this for a second. Because I already painted the bears. The bears are all very uniquely sculpted. But, I got the taste of the bears. So I'm not frothing them out to paint them. Although I am excited to do some red eye effects for the Ordo. And I gotta say, one, I think that Thyraxis Dragoon is going to be really fun to paint, just because it's not going to have a painted version. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a lot more interesting to paint for people, because there's, as of now, not a pre-painted version. So I kind of like that I'll get to kind of explore it without something official to compare it to. And then I gotta say Queen Maledrix. That's just a big old bug. I like the bugs, and there's some really fun techniques you can use with that. I would have said the Hellforge, but I had the opportunity to get some paint on that already. So the Hellforge is really fun to paint. It would have been my first, but Queen Maledrix definitely is going to be a fun one to paint and teach people how to paint. But I don't know if it's the one I'm going to want to paint a lot of, if that makes sense. Like, I want to paint one Queen Maledrix and say, cool, I'm done with this. But the ones I would think I would want to paint a lot of are the Borg Goliath Strikers, just because they're all so unique, and painting fur is really fun and satisfying and really easy. So a wide answer to your question. Death Green of the Bosses. I'm so stoked when I found out about our new Army Painter Color. Yeah, the Army Painter Color collab was really exciting. I love Army Painter. I cut my teeth on them, and then they released a Fanatic line, which is really just a strong line, and I use it for a lot of my stuff, and then just to see Jandar Blue is so exciting. Is kind of like a personal dream of mine, because I know they've released it with other brands and kind of like Star Wars and other companies and stuff like that. But it kind of just, I don't know, like, for me personally, it like legitimizes Roguescape to like a much broader degree. And it's like a little thing. It's really cool. It's a great set of paints if someone's looking to add some really unique colors to their collection. And you got some really interesting hues in there. So, kind of once you get your basic set of paints in, I'd definitely recommend someone explore that, because you got some, I'm going off memory here, but you got some really cool purples and blues and metallics in there that, someone looking to have some new stuff be really, really fun, really unique colors, I think is the best way to put them. And which am I most excited to play? Now that is a hard question right there, because I love all the Scape ones. Let's see here. I gotta go with the Festering Honor Guard. I mean, I can't wait to burst out of someone's chest. I think it's at the start of the round, or when they're destroyed. I have to remember their card, but that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be really. It's just so thematic. It's something I've always kind of wanted in Scape. Is just some crazy chest bursters. The big old bugs. I'm blanking on the name. I just call them the big old bugs. But the Skodire. Skodire. Yeah, the Skodire are. They're just a really thematic and really strong unit to play with. It's forgive me, I have so many new figures to remember in my limited brain space. And I'm not even talking about painting. We're just layering up this color we mixed onto the figure, and it's a little bit out of focus here, so it's not the main attraction. Maybe move it over here so it's not clogging up camera space. And we're just keeping our brush moist and applying it to this model. Just trying to get all these areas, avoid any kind of blotchy spots, and keeping it pretty thin, but not too thin. Festering Honor Guard with Maledrix is going to be so fun, but Adalburn bonding with Chasers is something I'm going to play for a long time. Oh yeah, Adalburn is going to be... he's going to be the guy you tremble when you see your opponent has, and you're going to laugh victoriously when he's in your army. Like, yeah, he's a beast in all the coolest sense. I have some fun paint schemes I'm going to do for that guy. I want to add some gold bits to him to really make him kind of stand out. If it makes you feel better, you can call them all bugs. Well, we're talking about them too. Yeah, too many fantasy names for me to remember. Between that and all my other fandoms, it all gets turned into a big mush in my head. All about the bugs. I am in with the bugs. Yeah, I like the bugs. I actually do pest control as my real hobby, my full-time job, and so I know a lot about bugs, and I've seen crazy things bugs can do. And so I definitely I'm going to introduce that one to my dad. We actually in a family business together. He's gonna love the big old bugs. They are officially called the Skodire. Yes, that's right. For some reason, my brain was thinking Skozanek, which is just the Eisenek and Skodire mixed up together, which would be scary. You know, if they the Eisenek just put robot parts on a bug. Let's not do that. That's okay. So we're just getting these layers going, nice and easy here. I actually went ahead and prepped a couple other models, so so we have a chance to kind of go to some different steps while we wait for things to dry. Because I have the advantage of having a couple of these on hand that I picked up, so we might be able to get some different stages going on. Because I know a lot of people are definitely very interested in the red wash applied, and I definitely want to go over that for a bit. As there's many ways to do it, what I'll probably be doing today isn't the only way, but it is one way. It's a thing to add to your tool belt. Now what we're doing is getting some dark purple. I have some from Pro Acryl here just because it's a really nice, rich color, and it's a good thing to kind of build up the space from. And we're just going to put these on these little pinnacle weapons here. Being careful to avoid her skin, but as always, if you keep it thin, you can always just layer back over it. A good bug is a mechanically modified bug. Hello, Hexalia. The only good bug is one with robot parts. Yeah, I don't think my wife would agree. The only thing worse than a giant spider is a giant spider with a laser beam on its back or something. Now, if this was later in the month, I was going to try to get a costume going, but I didn't have time to get one together. But I did see on Amazon that they have a moose hat, available. I was going to make myself a very elaborate Moorsbane cosplay, but I figured that would be hard to do while painting with a big moose hat on my head, and also I didn't get it all together in time. But it's definitely something I'm thinking about dressing up later this month if time and money permits. I just have to pitch it like, hey, I can wear this moose hat for other occasions. I think Isamu's a really good, easy costume to dress up as, just because you get a red ninja suit. You're set. Trying to think, Killian Vane, usually you do pretty good. Just get some pirate gear and find a kind of like a gas mask or something. That'd be a nice, easy one. But provided you do have to have the mustache or the mustache and the goatee, depending. If you look at the figure art or the card art. I'm just I like Killian Vane just having the mustache, the Tom Selleck mustache. That's the camp I'm in, because I like it. I like just that don't mess with me mustache. Let's see here. Let's get some black. Right now we're just basing out these colors. Quick question: what is that stand I use to hold these miniatures? This is just a cut PVC pipe with some Gorilla sticky tack on it. So really, just it's a homemade invention I had on hand. It's not fancy, but it really does a good job of holding it together. It's you can get these or official, paint stands. Really, whatever you use, it's nice because I help hold things like this, and you just get paint all over your hands, and I prefer to do that myself. I was watching Joe's overlook of my painting Hellforge video, and he's like, "Why is he painting on his hands?" And I'm like, "It's just kind of it's an artist quirk I have." But to answer your question, yeah, it's just PVC pipe and sticky tack, nothing too fancy. Now we're just applying some matte black to these pants. Yeah, I'm really just excited for all this new stuff that's coming out. It's really just kind of crazy, honestly. It's hard to believe. As a painter, I'm really glad it's just being kind of sparsed out. I'm still kind of working through the master set, honestly. I have a couple stragglers, and I've been doing some other commission work and stuff like that, so it's been kind of put on the back burner. But I think I have yet to paint a Rakshot. That's the one that I'm really looking forward to painting. I don't know why I keep on putting it off, but it's not a hard model. That's the one that it's okay. So the reason why is I primed and prepped all my minis, but that one I forgot to do. So it's just been human laziness. I was like, I don't want to go prime it. I'll just paint something else instead. So definitely try to prime all your things together when you're painting, unless you get the procrastinating like I do. It's also taking a bit longer too, just because I'm trying not to rush through them all and trying to get footage of all the figures, so as that they can be filmed and turned into tutorials and whatever else I have in mind. So it's I have to be patient. I'm taking the long road here. I was listening to the designer roundtable, and I found that really fascinating from the Renegade Con. Just the kind of amount of effort and work put into this game is kind of outstanding. Just that collaborative process, all the back and forth, and the veritable feedback, and going back to the drawing board and making something work. It's really exciting stuff. I love to see those people just so passionate talking about it. And I like those kind of little subtle hints that were thrown in. I was paying attention. Those acolytes from Revna, those lava crabs. I was noticing. I'm really excited about all those things that were teased. Right now, I'm just putting black onto the sword, just because I like to have a dark undercoat when I do metallics. That way, I can kind of just have the shadows filled in and have it be a bit darker when I build up from it. The scenarios mentioned having some pirate ships, which was really exciting for me. I definitely would love to see. This is just me postulating here. I'd love to see some way to build some kind of like modular ships, even if they were kind of stationary like the terrain. That would be really awesome. That's a personal wish list of mine, but I think we're a good ways off from all. We've got a lot of other stuff to get through first. Now I'm keeping this black pretty thin so I can still see where the highlights and lights are. Make sure I'm still in focus here. Okay, where do I want to go next here? Let's get some brown on the leather parts here. Using Tree Ancient from Army Painter. See, my biggest problem is I paint late sometimes, and so then I go to bed, and then I I forget to put the caps on all my paints, and that's my weakness as a painter. So I'm always outrunning my absent-mindedness. The brush I'm using is just a base coating brush from Army Painter as well. It's a really nice, just basic, you know, for your basic coating and stuff like that. And it's a good all-around brush. I like using it. So with belts and buckles, you definitely want to make sure you always get that underside. They're kind of tricky because you think from one angle, you know, it looks fine, but you kind of turn it all around. You're like, oh, these kind of raised edges will evade capture if you're not, or evade coverage if you're not paying attention. Will I be using the new paints when they release? I will try to. I personally own a lot of paints, so I don't necessarily need. I recently spent a lot investing in kind of upgrading my whole paint set. So if I have room in the budget, I would definitely like to get it to just to have it, just to test it out. Try to paint things using exclusively those is on my kind of a list of things to do. It's you know, I want to get, it's definitely something I'm excited about and would love to get, but that's more of like a Christmas present or a birthday present. I'm kind of putting on my list there. The other stuff, it's like, all right, let's do what we need to do to get the figures in first, and then the terrain, and then the paint set. It's kind of my order of operations there. But once I get in hand, yeah, I'll be doing some videos about it. I'll be working with it to show all the possibilities of it. It's a good collection of paints as I was looking through it. I like it because I sometimes give away paints on my side of the channel and stuff like that, and so it'd be really, really nice to do a giveaway for a Roguescaper paint set instead of just like the Army Painter core standard set or starter set. So I'm really excited for that purpose as well. I just like giving out actual Scape branded stuff. Google there. Figure they might be making some tutorials with them. Oh yeah, that's definitely. I think there's. I have to have the full color list on hand to definitely see kind of what opportunities they have, because you can, with those colors there, you can definitely paint a good deal of minis and with just those colors with extras to spare for other things you have. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting our base coats done. But I like having things to add to my wish list, or I don't know. I'm in the sense of like, I like having things to kind of work towards or have people get me for gift giving occasions. Where it's easy to pinpoint, like, hey, I want this set. You know, it's a really great thing for that. Where it's, you know, my mom asked me, hey, what do you want for Christmas? Oh, I'll just want the Hellforge Manticore. You know, what? What's that? We're getting there. What's my time looking like here? Okay, we're about 40 minutes in. Let's just keep this crazy train going. Add some metallics real fast here. Just be careful when you add metallics to your wet palette. Just make sure they don't blend in, like on the corners, so they don't seep into the actual palette itself and get all your other paints to be slightly metallic hued. But I do like putting them on the wet palette just to keep them kind of fresh. Add a little bit of moisture to them. I'm using gunmetal right now from Army Painter. Nice dark metal. Sorry, it's not hit my lens. It's coming along. It's a nice. This is a really nice casual one to do. I was doing Mizrex last time I was here, and it's a gorgeous model. I love it, but it's definitely one you got to pay a bit more attention to when you're painting, because just all the bones, all that stuff, you know. So I was a little bit more focused on this. Now I'm kind of just doing this more casually, which is nice. And we're just doing kind of just a basic outline here, nothing too fancy. Trying my hardest to stay in focus. That's the hardest part. If you're a mini painter doing like video work, is always that focus. You're always eyeing it, and always kind of because I naturally, when I paint, I'm all over the place. I'm always moving up here, I'm looking down there. I'm trying to train myself to be a bit more a bit less of a manic painter and be a bit more still, so I can stay in my focus box. Let's see, it's spelled Mini Animator. I'm just going through and adding another layer to these brown parts here. Filling in all these areas. Is anyone doing anything cool for National Heroescape Day coming up? I know that's this weekend, I believe, right? The 19th? Yeah, it's coming up. Still trying to decide what army I'm wanting to run. I'm thinking of running some Deathstalkers. I think Leviattack and Raylan might make them kind of fun to play. So, I love to hear some other armies people are running. I gotta get that Cornelius Breach, you know? Gotta get that mutiny on my pirates. Now I'm just adding a bit more brain matter beige to this. I wanted to make it just a bit brighter when I did this, to really just focusing on kind of more of the raised edges. Once I start putting the washes on, it's really going to kind of blend all this together. Washes and some other stuff we'll be using. All right. All right, there you have it. That looks almost, let's do the, what color are those little canister things? I think they are they purple? Or are they silver in the card art? Let's see here. Let's just put them silver. You, of course, can try to layer this up with grays and do some non-metallic metal. It works really good on cylinders like this, but, metallic looks great as well. Never be ashamed just to use metallics if you if you want to save time. I've been practicing my non-metallic metal for a bit now, but it takes time. And I don't know, Heroescape models just have that classic metal look to them, so I always try to use it when I paint Heroescape. But those that take the time to really layer it up and do a lot of it, it turns out really great as well. So that's the cool thing about painting, is you can kind of make it your own. Hill says, unfortunately, no, doing more things all day into the night. Well, thankfully National Heroescape Day is a state of mind, so hopefully the escape will be on the mind during that time. And Zera Tool JF1, if I said that right, would have played the Bears some more, but haven't decided what to pair them with. I would suggest Beats or Battlestar Galactica, but yeah, the who to bond with the Bears is always the question. You got your classic. You can just go Irene, who is a menace on the field. You got your Alistair, who seems to be one of the best options, at least on a competitive level. Then you can also do some fun things with like Gilbert for that movement, or the Vikings just to bolster up your Frostclaws. Yeah, there's so many options with the Bears. They're a really fun unit. It's sad. I want to play all these new release units this weekend. It's definitely the epitome of that that meme with Andy. I don't want to play with you anymore, as I put away all my master set stuff just to play with the new shiny stuff that comes out. No, these are all pretty fun units. I still haven't had a game with everyone. I want to get in a game with who haven't I tried yet? I haven't actually played with Bok-Bur-Na in an army yet, I don't think. So I like to see how he does. He seems strong but kind of fragile. But that's kind of how all the pirates seem. So they're definitely, the pirates are a brain crinkling bunch. They're easy to play but hard to master. Is definitely their threshold. Put this down for a second. But yeah, we're getting so many different kind of play styles with these new releases. You have you would definitely have like the dominant queen play style, literally with the Skodire. And you have, I love the Eisenach. I think they're probably thematically my favorite because they play a lot like the Morrow, kind of very D20 based, but they back it up with like a very solid stats and utility of kind of just a fill-in unit. So they have this versatility, which is really nice with them. Okay, what do we want to do next here? Let's get some of the shading going. Let me make sure just everything's filled up real fast. Always look at your model from beneath so you don't miss any of these cracks and crevices, especially on the Morrow. I didn't have time to set up this week, but next week I might work on having another camera over here where I can put the finished model on like a spin table for everyone to see. I think that would be a fun little addition. I'm always changing things around, so that's on my to-do list. There we go. I was like, why is that all dark? It's because we didn't put paint on it. Now, I'm not doing any layering or anything like that on this part just yet, just because we're going to put the wash and it's going to kind of get all over the place. And I want our highlights and our extra layers that we'll add to really pop out on this thing, to really catch the eye. So we're just putting a nice solid base coat on first. That way, if the wash kind of gets away from us, it's just one simple color and it's easy to patch up and fix. And I am just finding all my little spots real fast. I missed. Here, I missed a hole. Oh, that's still wet. Let's let that dry for a second. If you notice you put a little bit a paint that's a little bit too wet or paint that's been recently applied, you can use your tip of your brush and kind of suck up most of it. Definitely don't want to overwork it lest it stains the model. While we wait for just this to dry as a whole, I'm going to set this here. I'm going to just put a little bit of gold on his belt buckle. We got some greedy gold right here. Very fitting name for a pirate. And that's from Army Painter. We are going to get a slightly smaller brush, just with a more narrow head. This is the size 00 from Game Envy, the Planix line. This is a good synthetic brush. And we're just going to trace the outline. And I'm going to just add a little bit of gold to the tops as well. Come here. I'm always looking for ways to add some visual separation or contrast to a model, even if it's little tiny details. Because your brain likes contrast. When it sees contrast, it's like, oh my, that's delicious. I can understand shapes and objects with it now. Okay, so we are all good. And we're going to kind of switch over to this guy here. So I put a strong tone on this guy first. This is just to darken all the shadows and kind of create a nice kind of just fill in all the voids essentially. But Morrow have a very strong red tone to them. But if you kind of look at it classically, they have a bit of kind of like a dark wash on them as well. So I was trying to kind of emulate that method. So it's okay to use multiple colored washes. It's okay to kind of mix, layer up your washes as well. A wash is just paint that's really thin. Effectively, at the end of the day, it's just paint with not a lot of binder in it. So it flows. That's why it's called a wash. So we are going to layer up something I've been messing with. See if this kind of works here. Let's see here. Get all my stuff. Now, Monument Hobbies did release this new product called Noosh. It's pretty much a medium you can put into your paints to pretty much give it an oil wash-like property. I think Classicscape has kind of a oil wash applied. That's how they kind of get their signature look. Oils themselves are kind of a whole different ballgame. It's not something someone casually painting may not encounter. And you've heard that drinking contrast is not the tasty experience. I guess you've never had ice cold brew, you know, that cream and that coffee right there. Visually, it looks great before you even eat it, but you know, I wouldn't drink contrast paint before you do that. And we are going to try to find a good tone for this here. Let's see, what paint do I have? So I have burnt red from Pro Grill. Now you want about a 3-to-1 mixture of this stuff. You want to be really heavy on the noosh, which is a fun word to say. Effectively, this causes the paint to flow very much like a glaze, but it slows the dry time so you can wipe off the excess. And then we're going to mix a bit of orange into this as well, or orange red, if I can find where I put it. Right here, some dark vermilion from Vallejo. This is just kind of my own mixture I'm using, just to kind of give it some brightness here. That burnt red has kind of a brown and red, and this is a bit of an orange and red. We're going to grab that old brush we've been using. You don't want to use a new brush for this. And we are going to mix this up together like this. And maybe put just a bit of water in here. Try not to get the coffee cup mixed with the paint water cup. I have them on opposite sides, don't worry, but it's happened. It reminded me I'm thirsty. I'll just use my brush to put a bit of water in here. And we are going to test this out. I tested this once before on a practice model, but I want to see if we can get this going really good. Effectively, this should, you know, it's going to be like, oh no, you're painting over your whole model. What are you doing? This is reductive by nature, so we should be able to remove the excess and sponge it all up. Morrow inherently are messy. They are a messy kind of design, and we're trying to really capture that. Now, if you're a bit concerned about kind of gating this onto your pre-painted stuff, definitely do all this first. You know, I kind of like to block in my things and then do this kind of stuff, but you know, if you don't want to worry about that, just do the flash and then work from there. No, I'm painting this onto all my model. Just covering the whole thing. You definitely want to make sure you hit all the skin tone, really getting deep into the recesses there. And what you're going to do is let that set for a second, and we are going to get a makeup brush with a little bit of water attached to the head. And let's make sure we get the toesies as well. Can't forget the toesies. Now this is definitely more of a different way of doing it. You know, if you're just starting off painting, maybe you don't have this stuff in hand, you can try thinning down some speed paint medium for a very similar effect with some like red speed paint, and kind of try a similar method. Main thing is, if you notice about all these models, is that you don't want really the red paint on top of the skin, you just want it in the recesses. So since this stuff is slow drying, you can remove the excess, theoretically, and have it sit in the areas that we want. And you can make it as kind of vibrant or as, you know, diminished as you like. You might have to go back through and, you know, touch up some areas if you kind of follow exactly along with me, where you got the paint in the areas where you didn't want to. But by putting that dark tone on, we have a little bit of that shading, and then this red really pops as well. Feel like we need. Oh well, thank you so much. Yeah, it's a bit of practice. I mean, like I said, I've kind of been practicing a bit on these Mario to kind of get to this point. But it's honestly, I recommend it for people because if you use like wash, or if you just use straight red wash on this, it will stain the miniature. You don't want that to be stained. You really want this nice. You want the raised areas to be prominent apart from the deep set. The deep set crevices. But I really appreciate the kind words. Yeah, no, painting like anything is practice. I always say to people, don't be discouraged if you aren't satisfied. That means that you recognize that there's room for improvement. It's cool. I can keep on working at something I enjoy and keep on honing my skill. I don't know. I think there's something satisfying about that. And you just kind of toy around with it. You pretty much a paintbrush, a makeup brush, a makeup sponge is a very, if I get my words right, is a very helpful thing for this. As you pretty much just dab it on the areas where you want to be nice and prominent. You can kind of do this however you like. All Mario look different. They all have their very unique shading. And process, but it's really satisfying. So we kind of got that bit. Thing about when you use this method, it takes a very long time to dry. Like, this is not a one and done kind of deal. This is like, you're gonna want to leave this out and set for a good while, an hour or so it's completely dry. Because it has a retardant medium in it, which slows the kind of drying process of it. So we're gonna let that dry, and that's pretty much the basic of how to kind of get your Mario painted here. You of course can kind of go through after this dries and touch up some areas, maybe where it stained just a little bit, or you want it to be a bit brighter. But this is kind of the stages of what it looks like. After it's all dry, then we go through and that's when you do all the fun little painter stuff. You can bring these up to a bright purple, put some magentas in it, and you can really make that pop. This to this to this, not bad. And it ain't even finished yet. So I think I will mess around with just this for a couple more minutes, and then we'll probably sign off for tonight so everyone can enjoy the rest of their day. And let's see, which one do I want to work on? So we kind of showed how to do that. I'm going to do some highlights on the guns on this guy, just because I really want to work on the little tentacle energy things on him. I don't know what to call them, but the drudge carryovers, for lack of a better word, to really make those things pop. They got a lot of detail and texture on them that I think we can do. I'll do that for a couple of minutes, and then I think we will be calling it a night here. There we go. So what I'll put in my palette here for this is I'm going to take this magenta, this Warlock magenta, very fun name, and mix it with that deep purple to kind of blend the colors. So we're going to go from here to ultimately there. It's a good way to kind of create steps for your colors. You of course can just have a bunch of premix as well. I might want to bring a bit more pink into it. You don't want the colors to be too similar, otherwise you won't notice a difference. And we're just going to start hitting these little raised surfaces here. I've seen some people do two-tone for this thing, and you know, I've considered doing it, but that's a lot of patience right there. That you know, like that thing is a green overlay. It's like a thing is like, yeah, I could do that, but I want to get this thing done. And that's good to know for every model you do. It's like, what's your commitment to this thing? Some models are I'm going to spend weeks on this thing. And other things are, I have 50 more models to paint. I just want to get some paint on this and to a good enough point and then call it there. The cool thing about painting is you can kind of get to a table ready point, and then if you're bored, you can kind of, you know, you can kind of work on it, you know. Let's say I like have something like this. This is pretty much table ready. You know, once you base it and fix up some errors, it's pretty much table ready. But you know, let's say I'm going to EscapeCon and I want to flex. You know, then I can kind of pick it back up. But that way, it's not just sitting in a bin, gray, and sad. Now it's got a little bit of life on it, and it's up to you as a painter how much life you want to keep on bringing into it. Okay, so we are finally just going through, just kind of hitting these topmost parts with this brightest color here. Just to really catch the eye. The trick about highlights is you want to be very subtle with them. You don't want to put too much because you'll shift the main primary color of it. Important thing I always remember is that if everything's a highlight, nothing's a highlight. And we are just adding a bit of detail. I don't know if that's shown up on camera or not, but I'm just using like a dabbing motion. And there you go. So you just layer up some magenta, and you can ultimately go to pink or fluorescence. You know, let's see how crazy we can get this in a couple minutes here. So I'm just focusing on the raised areas and adding a bit more light and definition to them. I'm essentially kind of sculpting with the colors at this point. It's a good way to think about it. Okay, I know we're gonna do something fun. I've been working a lot with fluorescence here. This is some fluorescent purple from Pro Acryl, and they just are very thin but high pigment dense paints. So they kind of create a glow appearance on them, and they look really good for adding a bit of punch of color or for kind of glazing up some color. And you just want to put that over your recent highlights and really just kind of make them pop. This is fluorescent purple here. And now we just start really adding just a bit more fun, kind of eye-catching nature to this thing. Okay, and there we go. So that's some fun extra steps you can do to start working on some highlights. And you know, as always with painting, you can keep on building up and going back and forth. But I hope this helped you all out. Definitely remember to check out the new scenario Renegade just dropped for Heroescape, as it is out. You got some pirate action. You can hunt for treasure and discover more lore of the story going around Scape. You know, definitely check out Renegade.com if you want to get these figures for yourself. This is Bok-Bur-Na from the Heroescape Master Set, and I am the Roguescaper. I have my own channel. Definitely check me up if you want some more Heroescape related stuff. But you all stay safe, and thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I'll take care now.